You're lucky to be alive 300 million years ago. The true rulers of Earth were creatures you wouldn't even dare dream of. A dragonfly with a wingspan of 70 centimeters, wider than your face, a millipede stretching 2.6 meters, easily crawling from your headboard to your footboard, with room to spare. Meanwhile, your ancestors were just tiny mice shivering in the mud, barely even qualified to be eaten. Scientists have calculated that if these giant insects hadn't gone extinct, mammals would never have risen to dominance, and you would never have existed. But what's even more chilling is that the very force that killed them, the high oxygen levels of the Carboniferous period, were now deliberately reviving. This era is called the Carboniferous period. You may not have heard of the name, but you've definitely used its legacy coal. Yes, the coal you burn at home is the remains of those ancient, giant forests from 300 million years ago. Back then, Earth was a completely different planet. The sky wasn't blue, it was grayish-white, because the air's oxygen levels were as high as 35%. What does that mean? Today's oxygen levels are only 21%. That extra 14% turned Earth into a monster, making machine insects like dragonflies don't breathe through lungs like humans. Their entire bodies are lined with tiny trachea that allow oxygen to seep directly into every cell. This system has a fatal flaw. The larger the body, the harder it is for oxygen to reach the innermost parts. That's why modern insects rarely exceed the size of a human palm. But during the Carboniferous, the air itself was a concentrated oxygen tank. Insects absorbed it greedily, growing massive like they'd been given a cheat code. And so nightmares began. Take the dragonfly. Its scientific name is Meganeura, meaning giant wing veins. A 70-centimeter wingspan was just average. Some fossils show wings stretching nearly 75 centimeters. That's comparable to the wingspan of a bald eagle. But unlike eagles, Meganeura was a top predator. It could fly at speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour, hover midair and execute sharp turns. Modern dragonflies already have a 95% success rate when hunting prey, nature's most efficient killers. Imagine scaling that up to the Carboniferous. That's why your ancestors could only hide in the Mu-D. Meganeura's diet was diverse. Other insects, small amphibians, even early reptiles. Its compound eyes contain nearly 30,000 lenses, giving it a nearly 360-degree field of view with no blind spots. Its lower jaw could snap out in 0.03 seconds, 10 times faster than a human blink. By the time you realized what was happening, you were already in its mouth. And it wasn't just one or two dragonflies, it was swarms. Paleontologists found countless Meganeura wing fragments in a French fossil site, piled like a prehistoric plane crash. The skies belonged to them. But the terror on the ground was even worse. The Arthropleura, or jointed chest centipede, was the Carboniferous's undisputed ground ruler. At 2.5 meters long, half a meter longer than Yao Ming, it had about 30 body segments, each with 2 pairs of legs totaling over 60 legs. These legs didn't move randomly. They worked in precise waves, allowing this giant to move at astonishing speeds. Fossilized footprints suggest it could crawl at up to 8 kilometers per hour. You might think 8 kilometers per hour isn't fast, but imagine a 2-meter-long creature charging toward you at that speed like a small animal sprinting toward you. What's fascinating is that scientists still debate what it ate. Early theories suggested it was carnivorous, hunting other arthropods and small vertebrates. But a 2022 study published in Geological magazine found plant spores and wood fibers in its gut, fossils hinting it might have been omnivorous. Even scarier, omnivorous means it would eat anything. Your ancestors could hide from the skies, Meganeura, but they couldn't escape this burrowing, meter-long centipede. Its anatomy suggests it could dig through soil, dragging prey from their hiding spots. Beyond these two terror icons, the Carboniferous teemed with a whole menagerie of monsters, giant scorpions, nearly 70 centimeters long with stingers as thick as a dagger, giant spiders whose leg fragments suggest they were at least twice the size of today's largest. Species, countless other arthropods lurked in swamps, forests and dark caves, waiting for any careless creature to surface. Back then, Earth wasn't a paradise for animals. It was a slaughterhouse for arthropods, your ancestors. The early mammal-like creatures spent every day hiding. Running and surviving, they dared not venture out during the day. Because Meganeura patrolled the skies, they avoided leaving the ground. Because a 2-meter-long centipede could ambush them, at any moment their only survival strategy becomes smaller and less noticeable. For 50 million years, they were the most insignificant beings on the planet. But history is full of irony. What killed these giants wasn't a heroic mammal uprising. It was a climate shift they couldn't comprehend. By the end of the Carboniferous, oxygen levels began to drop. The causes were complex shifts in plant life, massive volcanic eruptions, and changes in ocean currents. When oxygen fell from 35% to 25%, the giants began to suffocate. This isn't exaggerated. Insects rely on trachea to breathe, and in low-oxygen environments, their systems fail catastrophically. Larger bodies need more oxygen to survive, so the biggest species died first. Meganeura's wings struggled to support flight. Arthropleura couldn't sustain its metabolism. They weren't hunted, they were slowly asphyxiated. This slaughter lasted millions of years, finally ending with the Permian-Triassic extinction event, which wiped out 96% of marine species and 70% of land species. The age of giants ended quietly, and the tiny mice, your ancestors, finally dared to step into the light. Then came the dinosaurs, the mammals. Long wait the asteroid impact, and finally you. But all of it hinged on that oxygen collapse. Without it, dragonflies would have grown even larger. Centipedes longer, and mammals would have remained at the bottom of the food chain. You stand at the top of the food chain, not because you're powerful, but because 300 million years ago, the air itself saved you. Now, here's the problem. Humans are altering that air again. Over the past 200 years, atmospheric CO2 levels have risen by 50%, while oxygen levels are dropping at a rate of about 4 parts per million per year. That number seems small, but over centuries it could change everything worse. Our understanding of Earth's climate system remains incomplete. The giants of the Carboniferous never predicted oxygen would drop. Dinosaurs never expected an asteroid to hit, and we're burning 300-million-year-old coal while creating atmospheric changes we don't fully understand. Scientists joke that if oxygen levels rose above 30%, insects might grow huge again. Cockroaches could stretch to arm length, mosquitoes to the size of sparrows. That's a joke, of course. But the truth is far less amusing. Our control over this planet is far weaker than we imagine. In geological time, humans have existed for the blink of an eye, while the giants ruled for 50 million years. Who truly owns this Earth? Maybe we're not ready to answer that yet. Look down at your feet now. See a cockroach or an ant crawling. You could crush it with one step, but remember, its ancestors were once thicker than your arm. The air itself tames them for us, and every drop of gasoline, every kilowatt-hour of electricity, every lump of coal you use quietly reshapes that air. You don't know when it will run out. That's the story of the age of giants, and the warning it leaves us. If you were transported 70 million years ago, you'd die within 3 minutes, not because of dinosaurs, but because of a frog. In 2008, scientists unearthed a fossil in Madagascar. When they measured its bite force, the lab fell silent. This frog could bite with 220 kilograms of force, more than a tiger, and crush human skulls in one snap. Its scientific name is BLS above asterisk, which translates to devil frog. Dinosaurs were just snacks for it. Newly hatched baby dinosaurs. It ate them whole, bones and all. But what terrifies scientists most isn't how fierce it was. It's that its genes are still alive in South America. A related species called the horned frog exists, but it's 10 times smaller. The question is, if the climate warms again, could it grow back to its former size? How does a frog eat dinosaurs? The answer lies in its anatomy. A typical frog's head makes up about 1/5 of its body. But the devil frog's head is half its body. That means its mouth could swallow an adult chihuahua. Whole imagine a frog opening its mouth and stuffing a dog inside. This wasn't science fiction. It was everyday life 70 million years ago. Even more terrifying is its jawbone. Court scans revealed a massive muscle group attached to its lower jaw, 6 times denser than a regular frog's. When it bit, it wasn't trying to catch insects. It was crushing bones. In 2017, a team at Caltech used 3D printing to recreate the devil frog's skull and tested its bite force. The results: a single bite delivered 200 newtons of force. For comparison, a full-grown wolf bites at 400 newtons, and a tiger at 1,000 newtons. The devil frog's bite was 5 times stronger than a wolf's, and twice as powerful as a tiger's. A frog biting a tiger, you'd better believe it. But that's not the craziest part. What truly unsettles paleontologists is its hunting method. The devil frog doesn't chase prey. Its legs are short and thick, so it can't run fast, but it doesn't need to. It uses a trick called playing dead. It buries itself in mud, leaving only its eyes and nostrils exposed. Its skin matches the color of the mud, dark brown or black, blending perfectly with the swamp. Then it waits motionless for hours or even days. Its heartbeat slows to a near halt. Its body temperature drops, almost indistinguishable from the surrounding. Cold-blooded creatures, any animal coming to drink water, won't notice the killer hidden in the mud. When the prey gets close, the devil frog's tongue shoots out. In under 0.07 seconds, faster than a human blink, the tongue is coated in sticky mucus, 3 times stickier than a regular frog's. Once caught, the prey can't escape. Then the frog's jaws snap shut in a single, silent motion, no tearing, no chewing, just a deep gulp. Everything happens in under half a second. The prey doesn't even have time to scream before it's swallowed whole. Scientists believe the devil frog's main prey included small dinosaurs, lizards, snakes, early mammals, and even baby crocodiles. As long as it was smaller and came near water, it was food. This was the Cretaceous swamp trap, a death machine hidden in the mud. Now, how big was it? Fossil evidence suggests adult devil frogs could reach 42.5 centimeters in length and weigh over 4.5 kilo. That doesn't sound too outrageous, but consider this. The largest living frog today is the African bullfrog, measuring about 32 centimeters long and weighing 3.3 kilos. So the devil frog was roughly 1/3 larger than the biggest frog alive today. And while the African bullfrog is a peaceful vegetarian, feeding on insects and small fish, the devil frog was a true predator, aggressive, territorial, and highly dangerous. If you put it in a modern zoo, it could easily take on a full-grown rabbit, or even threaten a small dog. Imagine a frog killing a dog. That's not sci-fi. It happened 70 million years ago. So why did this terrifying creature appear in Madagascar? It all comes down to plate tectonics. 70 million years ago, Madagascar wasn't an island. It was part of a supercontinent called Gondwana, connected to South America, Antarctica, and India back then. Madagascar was a tropical rainforest, hot, humid, with swamps and rivers everywhere. Perfect for amphibians, the devil frog evolved in this environment. Interestingly, scientists found that the devil frog's DNA is 87% similar to that of modern South American horned frogs. What does this mean? It means that before the continent split, they were once one family. When Gondwana broke apart, South America and Madagascar separated. Horned frogs stayed in South America, while devil frogs remained in Madagascar. Over time, they evolved in completely different directions. In South America, horned frogs faced intense competition and shrank into the cute round pets you see online today. They're the distant cousins of the devil frog. But in Madagascar, with abundant food and few predators, the devil frog grew larger, stronger, and more deadly, becoming the ultimate amphibian hunter of its time. This raises a chilling question. If the environment changes again, could horned frogs revert to devil frogs? Scientists say it's theoretically possible. In 2019, Nature published a study analyzing the horned frog's genome. It found that genes controlling body size, growth is still present but dormant. Under extreme conditions, like a sudden rise in temperature or a surge in food availability. These genes could reactivate. In other words, the devil frog's blueprint is still in the horn. Frog's DNA, it's just sleeping. This reminds me of a darker truth. Earth is currently experiencing the 6th mass extinction. Unlike the previous 5, this one is human-caused. Climate change, habitat destruction, and pollution are reshaping ecosystems at an unprecedented rate over the past century. Earth's average temperature has risen by 1.1 degrees Celsius, seemingly small but a massive shift for ecosystems. History tells us that every major ecological shift gives rise to new monsters after the dinosaurs died out. Mammals rose after the Cretaceous extinction. Birds took to the skies, so what's next? If humans keep destroying the environment, could the next dominant species be something we've never even imagined? Maybe that nightmare is already hiding in the swamps of South America, waiting to be awakened. As for the devil frog itself, its extinction remains a mystery. Scientists speculate it might be linked to the asteroid impact 66 million years ago that killed the dinosaurs. That impact near today's Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico released energy equivalent to 100 trillion tons of TNT. It triggered a nuclear winter, global cooling, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, acid rain, and the collapse of food chains. Over 75% of species vanished within thousands of years. Dinosaurs, pterosaurs, ammonites, and even the devil frog perished. But miraculously, its genes survived. Maybe a small relative endured, or perhaps fragments were incorporated into other species' DNA. Either way, the devil frog's legacy lives on today. So next time you see a cute, round-horned frog in a pet store, remember its ancestors were once the terror of the Cretaceous swamps. The ferocity and power never truly disappeared. They were just buried in time. Look closer at that frog's eyes. You never know what ancient demon might be lurking behind them. 70 million years ago, it was the swamp's king, the dinosaur's nightmare. 70 million years later, it's a palm-sized pet eating pellets in a glass tank. But evolution never lies. Today's cuteness might just be tomorrow's terror. In disguise, that's the story of the devil frog. A warning about the past, the present, and the future.